Hello, my name is Corinne. Here today I'm going to talk about different types of depression and how to persuade you into seeing mental health. Mental health, there's always that stigma about people think that you're weak-minded, and seeing mental health is actually a strong-willed thing to do. Go ahead.
How do you get mental health?
How do you get to mental health? It all depends upon your insurance. So you might have to talk to your insurance provider, and they have a list of professionals that you need to see. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
All right. Now, with depression, I'm going to go over a few major ones that I think are highly important. You have major depression, which is characterized by just overfeeling sadness that you just cannot get rid of. You also have adjustment disorder depression, where such as a heart event, as being military and my daughter being a military brat, sometimes we do have some depression about moving different areas or even moving away from an area that we liked. With adjustment depression, it's trying to look at the positives of that area. Another one? Oh, go ahead. We have a question?
What's the point of depression?
The point of depression is that when your mind is just not understanding correctly. So when you're in depression, you're very low in your self-esteem, you're sulking, you're doing things you don't want to do. So a lot of times it's just hard to get over it. And you might need to see some external sources to help you out. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
All right. Now with postpartum, it normally occurs after giving birth, within 1 to 2 weeks prior to giving birth, such as the body's not ready. With postpartum depression, many women think they're not a very good mother or a very good person. Now, another depression that I think is actually highly involved is seasonal asphyxiation depression. Now, it depends upon the seasons, such as living in Alaska, where you have long months of light and long months of darkness. So it all depends upon how the sun. Yes, we have a question?
How do moms get their depression after birth?
Not every mom gets it. I did not have postpartum depression. However, some moms do get it. The reason why they get it is because their hormone levels are not even quite the same as when they were pregnant, even prior to pregnancy. So many doctors are like, hey, we're going to put you on a high dosage for now of whatever medication they need to use, or try to figure out outlooks to help them out with their postpartum depression. Does it answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now with the seasonal, go back to seasonal, it all depends upon the phases of the sun. You have the winter months where everyone gets depressed and sad and they don't realize that winter you can go sledding. It's not really exactly the same. Your body needs some sunlight and some darkness. Same thing as a plant. If the plant has too much sun, it will die and whittle. If the plant has too less of sun, it's not going to grow very well. So it all depends on how you work it. Now, anybody have any questions upon all the depressions, at least some of the depressions I went over? Any questions?
How does the last one
Seasonal?
How does the season one affect your life?
With the seasonal, it all depends upon the sun. A lot of times in the winter, when the sun is less present in your life, you become a little more depressed because it's almost like a vitamin deficiency as well. Sometimes they need to up the vitamin to even include some of those vitamins that we get from the sun, such as vitamin D, I believe, and some other minerals. So it all depends on how you play it. Does that help it out?
Yes.
All right. Now with some of the depressions we went over, we're going to go over facts and myths to kind of help everybody out. Now with the depressions, you still need to seek mental health to help you out. Now we have somebody walking out. Now with mental depression and even bipolar and depression itself, with those illnesses, there's lots of facts and myths. We're going to go over some today so you can actually figure out what would you like to do in your future. And to help you understand, it's not just a mental thing. It hurts you physically. Now, with depression, some depressions, excuse me, go ahead.
How does it hurt you physically?
How does it hurt you physically? Some of those symptoms, each age is different. Now, with the physical aspect, it'd be loss in appetite, a gain in appetite. You no longer enjoy something that brought you joy, such as riding your bike, or playing with Play-Doh, or playing with the dogs. So it all depends on how you work it. And if you have no more excited feels or it doesn't make you feel good inside, that's actually a small sign of depression coming up. Such as me. I used to love to go running, but I can't because it hurts so much. Also, I'm getting old. Now, another fact about depression is that you can't just have people say, "Oh, I hope you think positive today." No, it doesn't work that way. You can't just think positive and depression goes away. No, it's almost like a chemical imbalance. For example, would you like to say somebody with diabetes, "Oh, I hope your blood sugar is good today, and that's all the positive you need"? No, it doesn't work that way. You have to get diagnosed. You have to make sure you are seeing the right outlooks of therapy and the psychiatrist. There's no harm in going to a psychiatrist. For example, my daughter. We were both excited about seeing somebody because we both needed help with our communication and emotions. But you know what? I think we're communicating better because we're starting to understand what's going on inside both our heads. Any questions so far?
How does it work when you can know what's happening in both of our heads when you see someone?
So you're asking how it works since we have seen somebody? Well, about asking the right questions. I'm not overflowing your head about asking the wrong questions. Does that help out?
Yes.
Okay. Another myth and fact about about depression or even some mental disorders is that you have some disorders that it's even a chemical imbalance. The one thing that everyone is afraid to hear is the suicide and self-harm. Oh, go ahead.
What do you mean as a chemical
imbalance?
Yeah.
Sometimes if you don't have the right nutrition inside your body, same thing with like a plant. If a plant's not grown right, a lot of farmers like to take a sample of the soil and figure out what's missing. Such as our neighbor's garden. She was actually missing iron inside her garden. As soon as she put some iron drops into her soil, her plant sprouted up. If you don't have the right nutrition or even the right medicine in your head or medicine inside your body, you're not going to heal correctly, you're not going to grow right. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Great questions, by the way. Now, with the talking, many people think therapy is just you talk and you express. It doesn't work that way. What happens if you have a child that doesn't like to express themselves? What have a child that has to multitask to express themselves? You have different types of therapy. You have play therapy, family therapy, individual therapy. With play therapy, they're playing with a figurine or a dollhouse. They're working with the situation inside, and they're like, oh, if this happened here, how would you feel? Or if somebody hugged you hard, how would you feel? Same exact thing. Now, with all those different therapies, they are understanding the emotional and physical aspects of each one. Any questions?
How do you get the physical of the aspect of each one?
Sometimes you have kids that just don't want to be touched because it makes them feel anxious and makes them feel makes them feel good inside. But some kids, they love to be touched, so it makes them feel good inside. Now, with the physical aspect of a doll, okay, if they're just holding the doll like normal, you can understand and figure out after a while the doll doesn't really like to be touched. Maybe they don't like to be touched either. Does that help out?
Mm-hmm.
Now, another fact and myth about depression and mental disorders is that it will take a long time to get over it. Some disorders, it may go over for a few months. I've seen a few friends that have been in therapy for years. However, it's best for them. And now they can talk about it, and now they can express their feelings and talk through family or talk to family members, wives, spouses, family, kids. It takes a while, but it's great benefit for the rest of the family, for the communication and the emotional aspect. Any questions?
How do you get the aspect of, like...
It's like a different understanding. You have a different understanding. With family therapy, every family's got like a different household understanding, such as like a puppet. Okay, you have the handler and you have somebody working the feet and the boots. One pup is like one person. One person cannot just cope by themselves. Many people need a family, need somebody to help them out, need an animal to talk to. Same exact thing with depression. If you're not working correctly with those strings, everything's going to fall apart. Does that help you out?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm already pressed for time, so we're going to kind of sum this up. Depression. Those are some depressions. Postpartum, childbirth. You have major depression, which is exerted sadness most of the time. You also have seasonal depression, which kind of coincides with the sun in the winter and the summer. So it all depends on how you work it. Now, some of the myths and facts we went over, such as therapy is not just talking, it's an understanding about the emotional and physical aspects of each one. Also, you have the medication standard. With the medication helps out with the physical aspect and chemically inside the brain. Now, if you don't have the right medication, if you use the medication properly, use it properly, and you use it correctly, most parents don't understand that if you use it correctly, it will take months for it to work. The brain takes months. You have to use it for months before you see a good positive outlook on it. And there's also most depressed patients that have, such as a family member, they also call it a medication journal. So if they took this medication here at this time with this dosage, within a few hours they might see something or they won't. However, you have to wait months. Now, with the myths and facts, I hope this helps you understand about the mental disorders that we have in this country. According to the CDC, 1 in every 6 kids have depression. That was in 2011. Now in 2019, 1 out of 5 kids have depression. Those statistics went up. And in the mental journal that I read in 2017, in that journal, from 12 to 18 years of age, they have attempted their life 3 times. Out of a group of 10, 3 adolescents have tried to kill themselves within that time frame. From 12 to 18. That statistic is unbelievable. Now with the CDC, in each county, it is concluded that whites and blacks are even close to the same suicide rate. And you also have 22 veterans that have committed suicide. Even here at this base at Holloman, New Mexico, we had 7 airmen commit suicide since January 1st of 2019. Those statistics alone are unbelievable. Mental disorders and mental depression are on the rise. We need to understand this now before this becomes a bigger issue for our children and for our future. I hope this gives you a better highlight and feel about mental disorder and depression. Now, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. I hope you have a great day and thank you for your time.
2 minutes!